Hello there everyone, and welcome to our new playthrough, this time of Golden Axe, as you can see in front of us. Now, I must be entirely honest, I have played quite a bit of this game in the build-up to this playthrough, and I've come to the realization that I absolutely despise it. I hate this game. It's horrible. I'm seeing it touted by a lot of reviews as the point that the beat-em-up genre became good. And I'm no good at beat-em-up anyway. I'm really bad at discerning the depth of an enemy and therefore being able to hit them. But I gotta say, if this is the point that a beat-em-ups became good, I really do have to question whether it is just a genre thing and not just me, because this is horrible. In the interest of that, we're going to play it a little bit differently than we have up until this point. You hopefully have discerned by this point that we go usually level by level, but in this case we're going to go act by act. The game is kind of roughly divided into 3 acts. So we're going to do an act per level because I don't want to spend 8 episodes on this. I just want to get it over and done with in 3. But anyway, our heroes for the game are Axe Battler, the all-rounder barbarian. He is, unfortunately, as an all-rounder, he's actually more just crap at everything than he is a little bit decent at everything. He's just nothing good about him. He's just bad at everything. So ignore him. He's a terrible beginner pick. We have Tyrus Flare, the Amazon. She's the magic user of the game. She's technically a bit faster than everyone else, but her range is poor. So she's good for speedruns, but for us as general players, we want to go with Gilius Thunderhead the Dwarf. He's got the longest range, the fastest attack. His magic's a bit poor, but that's actually good for us because it means we can spam it and use it more often for its best results. But with that, we head off into the game. There were a couple of cheat codes we could have implemented before we started, which would have made things a bit easier, but I'm really bad at it. I haven't been able to pull off the cheat code input, so we're just going to go with this. We have our little scrolling backstory, which doesn't entirely line up with what we see in the arcade and in the preamble for the game and in the manuals, but it is what it is. Peace to the land is my duty. You pose a pose, and the game can begin. Now in this episode, we're going to take on the first 3 levels of the game. We're going to make our way to Turtle Village, which is more or less the first act of the game. Takes place over the first 3 levels. And already you can see kinda what the go-to strategy is, and that's just to spam your dash attack over and over and over again. The only real difficulty with the dash attack is it's a little bit finicky to pull off, but if you can pull it off, it's pretty much the only strategy in the game that works. You just go in between 2 enemies, get them a decent distance apart, and then you just spam your dash attack until eventually they both go down. That's an elf or a thief, depending on which version of the game you're looking at. Whatever the case are, they drop the blue bottles, which refill your magic gauge. So we want to go and collect them as often as possible. Want to collect as many as possible so we can use our magic attack, in effect our special attack, more often. And you'll see that in a moment. But the other kind of selling point, if you will, the unique selling point, USP, of Golden Axe are these Bizarrians. They're rideable mounts, which change your moveset to a single attack, usually, and your charge attack still, and which are supposed to power you up. To be honest, more often than not, they're more of a hindrance than they are a help. They change your attack strategy, enemies knock you off really easily, and if they do so, then you can't really react. Just kind of have to use it for as long as you can. The one good thing about them is that enemies will try to climb up on them. There we go. Enemies will try to climb up onto them, which will effectively act as a distraction for a moment, which allows you to go and attack them more easily. But there we are. Gilius's specific type of magic, because each character is a different one. His is thunder magic. Or electric magic, I suppose. I think it's called thunder magic, but it's, lightning. It's the weakest in the game, but because you have so few levels of it, I'll show you in a moment once we get some magic out of this guy. As you see, we've only got 3 levels of it. Axe Battler has 4, Turret Flare has 6. And they work so each type of magic does the same amount of it depending on each level. But because we have so few, it means we can actually spam it more easily than anyone else can. A sworn enemy Death Archer in his castle will take a shortcut through the Turtle Village. As you can see. We go into the Turtle Village in the second stage, but there's something to show off that means that with actually the act kind of goes into the third. Now when we're faced with a single enemy, the best strategy is to just very slowly use your attack button to kind of chop at them repeatedly. Spamming the button quickly kind of puts you in a combo where you do 3 slashes and then you hit them over the head and then knock them away. But if you just spam the attack button or slowly tap the attack button, don't spam it but slowly tap it, they effectively get stuck in a loop and they can't do anything about it, which is of course good for us. But then when you get 2 on screen, or off screen in his case, nice of him to just attack us from off screen, a bit rude. The best thing to do is just to use your dash attack. As you can see, it's a bit finicky. Enemy hitboxes are again a bit weird, but I think that's a beat 'em up thing more than it is a Golden Axe thing. To give the game the tiniest bit of credit, I do think that's a beat 'em up thing. I always struggle with that. I don't think it's Golden Axe. And then when we have 3 or more enemies, we just want to be tapping the jump button in air. Or trying to grab a Bizarrian. They're supposed to shield you from attacks, but as you can see, they're really bad at doing that. They're almost more of a liability than they are an actual help, but you still want to go for them anyway, especially the dragons, because they do quite a bit of damage with their basic attack. But yeah, as you can just see, the game, it's not fun. Like, it's a massive chore to get through. The decision to make one of the buttons on what is a very limited controller, the Sega Genesis, Sega Mega Drive controller, the decision to make one of them a magic button to effectively be your, at any point you can go and use a special attack, it's a really bizarre choice. It massively limits what the game can do. Because you effectively have one attack button. Well, no, effectively about it. You have one attack button, and every single one of your attacks is contextual on it, which means that you effectively have one attack string that changes slightly depending on the context. So if you're charging, it does the dash attack. If you spam it in the right way, if you're a certain distance away from the enemy, it's a different type of attack. But it's really limited, and that's why all of the strategies ultimately devolve into just charging at people. It's the only effective strategy in the game. It's so effective, in fact, that even the AI use it all of the time, which is why you'll notice that basically the entire game just comes down to the AI charging at us, like so. In every single context, that's all they do. All they do is charge at us. It's horrible, it feels horrible, I hate playing it. That's why we're trying to get through it as quickly as possible. The Bizarrians aren't much help. And the magic isn't that exciting, especially once we get into later levels. The green elves, thieves, whatever you want to call them, they only spawn in these bonus stages between levels. They heal you, it's the only form of healing you're going to get in the game. If we get in through this with just less, without using a continue, it's good on our side. The village was on the back of a giant turtle. The turtle takes us south across the sea onto the southern continent. I believe the continent we're on is called something like Lyria. But anyway, with this section you can see that the turtle village is aptly named because it is in fact a giant turtle. But for this opening bit of the level, what we want to do is just want to camp out here, having knocked the guy who spawns up here off the stage straight away. And I think we actually managed to get the girl. All of the enemies have names, as most beat 'em up characters do, but I can't quite remember them. The girl's one's long and complicated. I think it ends with something like Aina sort of thing. But yeah, we disembark from the turtle village, quite literally. A giant turtle. Because they're the only one active, I think we can just very slowly whack our axe head on top of the enemy. These green ones, green female enemies, they're a bit strange in that they seem to be like twins where they'll only react once at a time. From that door, the bad brothers, the first mini-bosses of the game, spawn. Or, well, the first bosses, they now become regular enemies. They're always really annoying. They love doing charge attacks, and their range is massive, so the only thing you can do against them is to charge at them as well. Like a lot of things in the game, feels horrible. Kind of finicky. Don't like doing it, but it is what it is. Again, early game in the genre, but I'm really not seeing the praise as like this is where the genre got good. I can recognize it as like a flawed older game, but like as the point that a genre became good, that's given it a lot of undue credit. Right, we should be able to get one more magic out of them for a full resupply. There we go. As you can see, because we've got 3 enemies here, the strategy is to just spam your jump attacks so that you can't get stuck in a combo and potentially get hit in the back because you have 0 defensive options. You can see quite plainly that we're hitting them a lot of the time and it's just not doing anything. Luckily the jump attack does deal a decent amount of damage. Eventually this knight comes out. It's called something like Old Bitter or something like that. But with our magic we immediately kill his support. At which point his range is massive. Fundamentally we cannot attack him in any other way. The only thing you can do against him is to charge him over and over and over again. And use magic of course, but the way magic works, you can only ever use it once. Once you use the magic, it uses your full supply of MP, all of the bottles you've collected up until that point, so you're always, in any situation, in any given fight, unless you can resupply, you only ever get as much. You only get the single use of magic. But with this bonus stage, where we can resupply our health a little bit, I would like to say thank you all for watching for the first act of Golden Axe. Hopefully we get through it soon enough, but I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time as we move closer to the vicinity of the castle, but always blocked by enemy lines. We must dare the fiend's path to reach the castle. But yeah, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. See you next time, but for now, adios and ciao.